Hey everyone, I'm going live to talk about my case, CYFD case that should be closed by now. I'll do my best to be as detailed as possible. So it was supposed to be closed last year by July, and it did not have a court sale on the document. When I took it to Social Security, they told me that it was a fraudulent case and that it wasn't closed, and that's why I was receiving $332 individually for Holly and Esmeralda. So I did have my own apartment in 2022, and we were on a trial home visit, and then they finally decided to close the case. I didn't expect them to, basically force us to go to a homeless shelter, which was Joy Junction, for us to lose almost all of our belongings, and for them to lie about helping us with housing in a span of, now I want to say, 10 years. I don't feel like a United States American citizen because everything I've asked for has been a fight. It's been a fight. Housing. My ex-husband has housing. And it does say that someone that sexually abuses children cannot get housing. So I don't understand why the federal government is allowing this. Why the federal government is allowing him to have the kids. Why CYFD is allowing it. Why CYFD is not honoring their privacy policies, their own rules, and everything that they say that they do to keep children safe, which we know globally they don't keep children safe. They never will keep children safe. We were homeless because of this agency refusing to help us with housing. It should be against the law for them to use housing, because they did this to me and my mother when I was a child in 1991 or 1992. They said my mother didn't have a place for us to move to. So even if she worked hard, eventually back then, I guess when they were first really developing the racketeering enterprise, they gave us back to my mom. When she could prove that Alfred Eugene Gutierrez was not in Valencia County, and so we got sent back home. So I don't understand why, after so many years, this agency continues to interfere with my life. And they've done this since I've gotten married. since I had a Facebook account. Someone is watching my Facebook account. Someone is watching my accounts in general. And they keep on using everything I say against me. And it's getting old. This court is disgusting. This so-called judge is the reason why I lost my tooth. Because she knows that she wears dentures. And she's not happy with that. She's not happy with her millions. She's not a mother herself, so she's not happy. So she doesn't want me or anyone else to be happy. And that's why we need to get rid of these Democrats. In New Mexico and everywhere else. They need to go. One thing I want to say, I still want my journal back, returned to me. I want it returned. I don't care if it is still at Joy Junction or in Marie Catherine Ward's possession. Whoever has my journal needs to return it to me. Because I know it got stolen for the judge. If you can call her that, because a judge doesn't allow a predator to keep molesting children and to hide their services from them. Tell them that they can't go to the doctor because he's afraid that they're going to report that he's been sexually abusing them so that he can get charged. And that's another thing is, if this was a real judge, he would have already been charged. He would have already been in prison. This is how you know these are not judges. These are just people in black robes. That's all they are. State actors. So you don't have to fear them. Stop fearing them. And I know that's a hard thing to do. But you need to do it. You need to stop fearing these people. That's what they want. They want you to fear them. They want you to be afraid, so afraid that you'll do everything that they say. Stop doing it. Remember what God said in the Bible. He said it clearly. They have eyes and they don't see. They have ears and they don't hear. So why would you continue to pay child support to these people? Whoever is out there paying child support right now, stop. You can't consider yourself a United States citizen if you're paying child support and you can't see your child. Because what are you supporting? You're supporting a racketeering enterprise. That is what you're supporting. You're supporting human trafficking. And I know, you're just like in disbelief, thinking to yourself, am I really doing that? Yes, you are. Because they don't care what happens to any child out there. They don't. All they're going to tell you is, oh, I'm so sorry. No. They're not sorry at all. They're not sorry for nothing. Because they keep doing it over and over again. Someone that's sorry doesn't keep doing this. And they've done this to me for going on 10 years now. And they are happy doing it. And I pray to God, because God is everywhere. Everywhere. That He stops them in one way or another. And I have enough faith that God will stop them. But remember, everyone, remember this, please. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave for a reason. And the day that you forget where you live, where you wake up at, where you reside, what country you're in, and the day that you forget your rights, you can't be a citizen. Because a citizen fights for their rights at all times. Good or bad, it doesn't matter what they tell you. They can't tell you to shut up in these courts. Because they're not real courts. That's why I didn't attend the court. Because I'm not going to be told to shut up by no one anymore. God gave me a mouth to speak. And I will speak until the day that I die. I find it very odd that my brother, Anthony Robert Gutierrez, recently passed away. And before he passed away, we were both homeless last year on the street. He passed me and I passed him, and that was after me passing CYFD's office. And I prayed for him. I prayed for God to help him, for God to bless him and heal him. And now, he's dead. But before that, in 2021 or 2022, I'm not sure what year, I think it was 2022, Anthony was on the phone when Mark pushed me down the stairs. When I went to Cinnamon Tree Apartments to try to go pick up my property and take it home on Uber. And Anthony was angry. He was angry because Mark wouldn't let me get my property. That's why I have almost nothing. That's why I don't have hardly any clothes. I'm having to rebuild. And if I don't get to rebuild, I'll still be okay. Because, as the Bible has said before, only the meek will inherit the earth. And I was born with nothing. And I will die with nothing. So, everything that's happening right now, me not being able to see my kids because of CYFD, I know God's hearing me. I know CYFD is going to be closed down. Eventually, God's going to come and He's going to close it down. He's going to cause destruction so that they can never do this to families. Because what they're doing, making families go to these courts that don't exist, that are not real. Don't tell me they are real just because they look real. Because there's so many people in the world that look real, that appear to be real, that are not real. Inside their heart, inside their soul, they're not real. They're egotistic, they're arrogant, they're cruel, they're evil, and worst of all, they lie. And they cheat and they steal. And that's what this agency and its agents, because there's so many of their agents, they have so many agents. When I say agents, let me go into detail here. APS, they have a contract with APS, Albuquerque Public Schools. They have a contract with the hospitals. Okay? They have a contract with all of the places that offer counseling. They have a contract with the homeless shelters, every single one of them. Whether they want to admit it or not, they know they do. You'll even see people working there that were working at CYFD months or years ago. They're probably still working at CYFD and the shelters. And that's why they change your kids' names purposely on their records, like they did to mine. So they can tell me that they don't have the records. They can't find them because they're such liars. That's why. That's why they can't find those records. Everything they do it by lying. Like this shelter that my kids are at. They lied to me, telling me that I only had to pay so much. Why do you gotta pay if you're going to a shelter? Why do you gotta pay anything if a shelter is free of charge and they're there to help you? Why do you have to pay? Because really, it's a hotel. And they want money. That's why. I don't know if my kids are being fed. I don't know if they're being bathed. I don't know what time they go to bed. I don't know what this hotel is doing to check on children, to see if they went to school, to see if they're not awake, playing on a tablet, playing on a phone. And this is getting really bad because Albuquerque police said that Mark wouldn't open the door and wouldn't answer the phone. Now, if you're really working as a police officer, you should have been knocking on that door until he answered. You should have been calling until he answered. That's the problem with New Mexico. That's the problem with Albuquerque. They don't want to do their job. They just want to do something really simple and do it just once. They don't care what happens to these kids. Because it's not their kids. It's not their kids that have went through this for 9 years. And you expect these kids to go to school with a smile on their face. You expect them to be happy where they're at. When that man already abused them before. And he's lied about it. And you've lied about it. You, CYFD, have lied about it. And you're really okay doing that. You're really okay lying about my children and their safety. Accusing me and my boyfriend that we have abused our kids. because David is more of a father than Mark is. David Chavez was helping Esmeralda read when she was with us. He was holding her accountable and disciplining her by telling her she was not going to get the tablet until she finished her homework, like a real parent should be doing. That's why she lied. That's why she lied to Pamela Anstad at All Faiths. And she said lies about me, lies about David. Because she's so angry. She's so enraged about what happened to her. She's angry that her dad sexually abused her and her sister, and they did nothing to him. And this is how we know we're in the end times. Because they're doing nothing to nobody. They're making big news about it, or they're even the media is, clipping the news. They won't even be honest completely about what's really going on. And they won't mention names. Specific names? Like my brother when he died, they didn't put his name in the news. Because, it's Anthony Gutierrez. And, he was in foster care when he was a child too. So, we don't want the world to know that we killed him. Because, he couldn't help him. He didn't want to help him. He didn't want to help me. He don't want to help nobody that's Hispanic. Or no one that's going to sit and accept your lies. Because what I'm wondering is, why isn't Mark in prison for sexually abusing his brother, David? David Anthony Griego. Because he did sexually abuse him when they were teenagers. So why didn't Irene get a CYFD visit? What was so special about that? That she couldn't get nobody to care about her son David and what Mark was doing to him. What makes you believe? What makes you believe that this man deserves a second or third or fifth or millionth chance? What makes you think that he deserves it? You know he sexually abused those girls. They know it. They know it. Their behavior says it all. If you're actually looking with your eyes and hearing with your ears. And if your soul and your heart is still with God, and it's not with the devil yet, you would know. You would know it. And if you do know it, you shouldn't be sitting there drinking your wine or drinking your coffee or, eating wherever you're eating, because we know that you all order pizza and eat out. We know it. Or going on your so-called vacations because you don't want to deal with your job. You don't care where you work. I know, because I keep on getting these auto responses from you. All of you. Every single one of you that ignores me. God's going to ignore you. And you're going to wish that you didn't ignore me. You're really going to wish that you would have listened with your ears. And that you would have seen with your eyes the real truth. and you wouldn't have dismissed it and just said, oh no, it's the mother's fault. Because that's right. Right now, that's what's happening. Almost every single mother out there. We're not attractive enough. Our teeth aren't straight enough. You know, look at my teeth. Yeah, my teeth aren't missing. They're not missing like the judge expected them to be missing. And she couldn't stop me from talking. Because now I'm talking public. Now it's on YouTube. Are you going to tell YouTube that that video can't be posted because I'm speaking the truth? I mean, let's be real here. Jaguar Wright is speaking the truth about the elites, and no one has silenced her yet. I know that I'm still here for a reason, and I know it's because of God. It's because I seek God. And that's why I'm telling everybody that's hearing this video, everyone that plays this video, please, as mothers, seek God. Ask God to help you. Stand tall. Stand brave. Ask God for the power to overcome this evil system. Because right now, we're in the end times, and the system is evil. It is evil. It is cruel. It is disgusting. Start to study these corporations. Study them. And don't fear them, because it says in the Bible, God doesn't want you to fear them. If you're really praying from your heart and your soul, and you don't need a church to pray for you. You need a connection with God. A real connection with God. At all times. At all hours. And I know a lot of you have your cigarettes, you have your coffee, your sunflower seeds, whatever it is to help get you through. I know, because I have it. You know, I'm starting to drink a lot of water now. It's helping though. It's really helping. I do have to say my PTSD is really bad. Because I've been dealing with this since I was a child. Don't you think it's enough? Don't you think it's enough, Marie Catherine Ward? Aren't you tired of putting this mother through pain? Doesn't it disgust you and nauseate your guts? I know my mother, I know she's severely angry right now. Her spirit and her soul is angry because she can't believe that you continue to do this to me. You paid someone to knock my tooth out and almost kill me, which is why I lost my job. You caused chaos at Joy Junction. And you made sure that they stole my journal so that you could try to pry into my thoughts. The same way that the government wanted to pry into Marilyn Monroe's thoughts. But you know what? You can't do that. I don't care how much money you have or how much power the state of New Mexico is giving you. You cannot do that. You can steal from me as much as you want, but my face is my face. Okay? The way I think, the way I believe, the way I feel, that's me. That belongs to me. That will never belong to you. Because that's not you. That's not your identity. It never will be. Never will be. All of my faces, it's still me. It's still Monica. Maybe you don't like yourself. You don't like what you look like in the mirror. You can't smile because you know you've destroyed so many families. It's enough already. Stop it. Stop it before God comes. Because when He comes, He's going to make sure you don't make it to the next system. You and everyone else in that courtroom that doesn't honor the United States Constitution. Because lately, you all have been treating me like I'm dead. And I'm not dead. I am not dead. I know you've done so much to try to kill me. But God has me here for a purpose. Not only do I reach out to God in my weakest moments, but God has me here. He has me here. And it's up to God to decide when it's time for me to leave this world. Not up to you. You don't make the decision just because you're a judge. No. You're not even a judge. What are you judging? You're not a judge. God is the judge. God is the one that makes the final call. And He will do it. He will do it. So it doesn't matter how many times you discriminate against Holly. You deny her ABA therapy. Telling every single agency that, Holly Melody Griego, nope, can't have services. You know what? It's okay. It's fine. Because you know why? Holly still has a voice just like I do. And she can talk. I know because I've heard it. And I've seen it. She will speak. Just like I am. And Holly is more brave than I am. Or maybe she's just as brave as me. Because she came for me. Because I brought her into this world. I did. She's a smart, beautiful girl. You're never going to take that from her. No matter how much you discriminate against her and tell her that she has to live with her abusive father. Esmeralda. Esmeralda is going to be a wonderful leader. leader that you're not. Because a leader doesn't destroy families for profit. A leader changes the world. The way Kanye West is doing it. He is changing the world. So stop doing what you're doing and close this case, because if you don't close it, God's going to handle you. You and every single one of your agents, including the IRS, because I know you all are the reason why the IRS does not want to give me my income tax rebate that they know I deserve, because I put work into the system. So, you can take whatever you're going to take from me. But God is going to bless me. God is going to give me what I need. He's going to give me my children. He's going to bring a judge, a real judge, that really can see all of my efforts, every single one of them, since 2016. And that judge, when that judge comes in, that judge is going to see and hear the way a judge should. And that judge is going to eventually prosecute Mark. And that judge is going to ensure that I have my children. That all mothers in the state of New Mexico that have made as much efforts as I have their children back. And that judge will make sure that CYFD is either closed down or renewed. And the human trafficking with CVRC will come to an end. And we won't need to have an agency like New Mexico Kids Matter open for business. We won't need it. Because it's just a business. Jordan Woodall doesn't care about these children. None of them. Because it's not her child. But her child probably doesn't love her. Because he or she can see the evilness in her. That's not a mother. That's not a mother when she works to steal kids for profit. And she's happy going home and acting like she loves her child. You can't be a mother if you can do that to a child. And you can sleep and wake up and act like you're just fine. When there are so many mothers heartbroken. And you're okay with that. And it's disgusting. It's sickening. The end is almost here. Completely. And I know what happened to Esmeralda. There's going to be justice for that. Because she went into foster care with a beautiful face. And now she has a scar on her face. Because a foster parent's boyfriend punched her in the face and cut her eye. Because she told the truth. She told them that he was drinking beer. So that's how we know that these foster homes are not safe for kids. They're just as bad as a regular home. And it's really not, I shouldn't even say bad, because the problem is we don't get to discipline our kids. Foster care does. We should be able to discipline our kids and teach them right from wrong. Stop them from stealing, stop them from lying, stop them from cheating. Teach them how to love each other, how to speak to each other, how to be kind to each other, how to defend each other. But we don't get to do that because the government is trying to tell us what you can and can't do. But if you are alive, you don't let the government tell you what you can and can't do with your child. Because that's your child. You brought that child into the world so that you could parent it. So you could raise that child. And you shouldn't have to have millions of dollars to do that. You shouldn't have to be part of a corporation to do that, like my cousin is. You should be able to do it anyway. It's also been said that if you don't meet with CYFD within 30 days, that they should, by law, close your case. I've been asking these people to close my case. It's been over 30 days. They refuse to close my case. They refuse to bring my children back to me. They don't care about me publicly exposing them. And everything has begun to be a fight. And it has gotten worse because of these people. And I do pray and I hope that God comes very soon and He stops them. He silences them and their lies and their arrogance. Because you should never have to allow these people to come into your house to see how you live, to have your children back. Because we don't do that to them. We don't go to see how they live. Because I can guarantee you they don't live perfect. They don't. And if they do, it's because they have money. But what's going to happen when they don't have money? What's going to happen then when they can't afford their hair to be dyed? It's going to turn gray. What's going to happen when they can't go to get their teeth polished? Their teeth are going to be gross. I mean, what's going to happen when they can't afford the high quality makeup? I don't have makeup. Look at my face. There's no makeup. No, there's lipstick. And this is the cheapest lipstick. I mean, it's gotten so bad that I can't even get a job because of these people. And I have a disability. I can't even get Social Security disability insurance benefits because of these people. Oh yeah, and because I listened to Pat Bennett and I wrote a letter saying that I didn't want to be part of Social Security's trust fund. When I didn't know that the trust fund covers you all your life. I just didn't know it. I didn't know what I was doing. Really didn't know. Because I mean, we don't know our government, right? When we go to school, they don't teach us nothing about this. They don't teach us that they're a corporation, that every single state is a corporate company, or that they have a DUNS number, or that they get Title IV, A through E, and they use it on whatever they want. These shelters, they have these programs that they want you to participate in. And it's to get more government grant money. And these churches that everyone's going to, the mega church. Sagebrush Church, Legacy Church, they have millions upon millions of dollars. And they get government grants. And I've called them both for help. Nope. They can't help me. But they can help everyone else that sells their soul to them. That's not a church. And I don't need them to pray for me. Because I have God. My Creator, the person that created me. I have God. God will give me what I need. God will pray for me at all hours, at all times. And I know this because I've been at my lowest before. And I've sought God and I've asked Him to guide me. When I was unsure of my decisions or my thoughts. And God guided me back to safety. I do want to say thank you to my friend Kelly for helping me. And Marianne Petrie, thank you so much for continuing to welcome more people on your show, and for all the times that you welcome me onto your show. Thank you. I just hope that this stops eventually, because it's exhausting for any family to go to this. And so many of us are tired. We are tired. We are exhausted. And you can see it in our eyes and our sound of our voice. You can see it. We just want to be a family. That's what we want. That's what we need the most. To be a family. And not have CYFD or DCFS, CPS, anything that they want to call themselves, because they have so many names. And the Heart Gallery. The Heart Gallery needs to be closed down in every single state that it's in. Because we know there's not that many parents that are bad. That is a racketeering enterprise. That is human trafficking. When you can take a child, that many children in all 50 states, and you have them ready to be adopted, like they're dogs, like they're not even humans. And you expect these children to move into these homes so happy. And they act like they're the happiest kids, and they're not. Deep down inside, they're not happy. Because they know that they were sold to these people. And I'm going to say this right now, for anyone that doesn't know this. After these kids turn 18, most of them are thrown back onto the streets because the money ran out. There is no more money. There's no more incentives. from the racketeering enterprise for that child. The IRS is not going to fund it anymore after they turned 18. So that child, as an adult, especially if it's a girl, she goes out and she gets pregnant. And there's CPS convincing her that they're going to help her with her baby. Oh, if you do this, if you sign this contract and do this, we'll help you. No, it doesn't go that way. Don't sign nothing. Do not agree to nothing with these people. Not one of them. Even when you go to counseling, don't do it. Because they're going to tell you, you signed this contract. And they're going to try to hold you accountable. Telling you that they can treat you any way they want to because you signed their contract. That's what they're doing right now. They're treating me as if I'm dead. I'm alive, right? I mean, you see me breathing. You see me speaking, right? My hands are moving, right? My eyes are moving. I can think, I can make my own decisions. So I'm not dead. And I don't agree to nothing. And that's what's been happening now with this second case, which has been built from the last case because the last case wasn't closed. They know they're just building it off of the last case. That's why Casey Tharp is in Rio Rancho. And they're dividing us. They literally are dividing us. So, that's another thing. There's no need to go to family court. They're already dividing us. They already did divide us. They already caused enough chaos in our life to divide us. They made my ex-husband believe, oh, if you do this, you'll get this. What's he really getting? Nothing. Because he's hurting those girls. He's hurting them. And he's telling them not to tell me nothing. And he's telling CYFD the same thing. And they really are okay with that. And that's the sick part about it. So when an agency that's supposed to protect children is okay with the father telling them to lie to their mother, when they're not supposed to be lying to their mother. You want to be able to trust your children. You don't want to sit and wonder, what is my daughter really thinking? What is she really saying about me? Because someone told her to say it. Because someone doesn't like me and my realness. Because lies don't get you nowhere. And you know it. You know it. It's time to close this case and really close it. It's time to send these kids back home to their mother, to me. And it's time to give them the services that they deserve to have. And it's time to prosecute Mark for his crimes. All of them. It's time to disbar Susan Burgess Farrell for stating specifically that she didn't care about Mark's counseling sessions. Why would you make a man go to counseling for almost 9 years if you don't care about what he's saying in those sessions? If it doesn't matter to you, if all that matters to you is the money that you're making off of this case, why would you make him make that kind of effort? Why would you make me make that kind of effort and sit there and say it doesn't matter? And then try to say that I'm mentally disabled. And then use that to defend him because you don't know how to defend a criminal anymore. Because you don't know how to defend a criminal anymore. The same way you defended Fabian Gonzalez in the Victoria Martins case. That's public record. You're just trying to do that again, right? How can you even sleep? How can you sleep and how can you function at night knowing that this is happening? How evil can you possibly be to do this to a family, to do this to children? Like I said before, to all the parents out there, stand strong and stand brave because you need to. You need to. We all need to have a little bit of Martin Luther King in us. We need to be that brave. We need to bring it back and we need to be that brave because this is still America. And we do have the freedom of speech. And Judge Ward, you cannot have an oath of office where it says AD after death because I'm not dead. You cannot consider yourself honorable if you have an oath of office that claims that you honor the Constitution and then you have AD 2020 on there. You can't do that. You're not a judge and you know you're not. You know that in your heart and your soul. Stop acting. It's enough already. You're not a judge. You don't honor the Constitution. You know you hate all mothers. Or you have favorite mothers, right? You have the ones that are on drugs. The ones that are beaten to death. Right? Those are the ones that you care the most about. But the mothers that have a brain or a heart or a soul, those are the ones you don't care about. The ones that you can't kill. Like you try to kill me. You still have my children to face. Because they're going to be adults one day. They're going to stand up for their rights. And maybe they'll face you. That's if God wants it. But if God doesn't want it, you won't be here to face the evilness that you've done to my children and so many children in New Mexico.